Yeah, so I'm Julie Cole, this is Anand, and I'm going to kind of move quickly through the history and a little bit about our startup, Mabel's Labels, and then we'll get to the fun part, which is Anand, who can give you all the tech talk. I started this company 9 years ago with 3 other women. One happens to be my sister, and the other 2 actually, we all met as students at the University of Waterloo, and they were friends of me and my sisters, and one went on to marry our brother and our young uncle, so now we are actually, in fact, all family, which makes for interesting Thanksgivings, and everyone always says we just take off at family functions and talk Mabel's in the basement. We started off in my sister's basement on Florence Street. It was a very, very small basement. We called it the sweatshop, and we would be making labels all night. I can remember at one point I was expecting my 4th kid or something, and I was making labels till 3 in the morning, and then I'd go home and get up at 6 with the children, and then go and do the same thing the next night, and the next night, and the next night. It was most uncivilized, and in fact some friends of ours from the University of Waterloo, we needed a website, so these guys told us they'd make us a website, but we didn't have any money, so in exchange we gave them a foosball table. And I remember also in this basement, it was very hot in the summer nights. We'd have the basement door open, and the person working closely to that door, it was their job to shoo the stray cats out that would walk in. So eventually, we grew out of my sister's basement. And in our entrepreneurial wisdom, we told her, no, we don't need a commercial space. You need to buy a bigger house with a bigger basement. And for some strange reason, she listened. And off we went to Aberdeen. We thought we'd be on Aberdeen for 5 years. We lasted for 2 years, and we have an employee who's still with us today. It's Nye. And Shelly says her first day of work, she came walking into this basement here, and I was sitting on the floor with my laptop on my lap, sitting barefoot, crisscross applesauce, and she was like, "You're the owner of the business? Why are you on the floor?" So there's no spot for me. So we outgrew Aberdeen a little quickly, which is always a good news story. And then we moved into Chatham Street. 150 Chatham Street, we started with one section of the building, and now we have 14,000 square feet of office space and production facility. We work hard at Mabel's Labels. We're just coming out of our busy season now, and we had a very good run this summer. Anand will talk about why this summer went a lot more smoothly than every other summer. Usually at this point, we all have dark circles under our eyes, and we have been working around the clock like owners, everybody. But some systems were in place this year and some modernization, which was incredible for our workflow. But having said that, we still work around the clock during our busy season, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we hire about 25 extra employees in the summer. We also believe in playing hard. We have a culture of fun. We have a Smiles and Chuckles committee. We like to be very playful with our customers. We always do a really funny, you can see that Marco Polo thing in the bottom. We always do a really funny April Fool's Day product. It's like a product launch. I think last time it was, what did we do, the labels that made animal sounds. And sadly somebody always thinks that it's real. Kills me. But mostly it's really fun, and a lot of customers now just wait till April 1st to see what we're gonna come out with. We also like to hobnob with celebrities. Very strangely, celebrities love our product, and I'm not sure if it's that whole baby Hollywood movement and baby bumps and People Magazine and whatever. But they love our products, and that we have found has been very good for our business. Our customers like that. Charlotte, who I'm having lunch with there, is a customer. And yes, that's me with one of the Jonas Brothers. Don't tell my twin daughters. We also are very involved in the community, and this is very important for us to, being in Hamilton, being a part of the Hamilton community. We always do things locally. Earth Day, we do cleanups on our street. We do cleanups within the community. We always participate in the MAC Kids answering phones, the weekend telethon. We donate to women's shelters. We raise money for food banks, all that stuff that makes us feel really connected to this community. And in fact, when we moved from my sister's basement on Aberdeen to Chatham Street, it was really attractive to us, not only because it was more affordable than a lot of places that we had looked at. We didn't need storefronts, but also we had a lot of employees who biked to work and bused to work and walked to work, and we wanted to stay in the neighborhood so they could continue to do that. So this was us in 2007, and then that's us in 2008, 2009, and that's where we are today. So we employ a lot of folks in Hamilton. We have an awesome community, great employees. We On-In hires a handful of co-op students every year. So it's great fun, and we've done a lot of things right to get us there. One thing that we've done really well is that we've shared our story, and that has been something the media's really been interested in. And as a result, we've had a lot of press, a lot of media hits. And we've used social media in a really effective way. We started very early on with blogger outreach, having modelers talk about our product, raffle our products off to their readers, and really just get into their communities. We know our market, we are our market. Monks don't trust traditional advertising. We trust our friends and our influencers, and we knew the mom bloggers would be a perfect target for that. And it was easy for us because we're in that space. We're on Facebook, we're tweeting, I'm a blogger. Again, yeah, the media love was fantastic. It started with an early hit, Canadian Living, that got us into Daily Kenny Kids. And since then, I've been on breakfast television, on that whole circuit. We've been on The View. We've been on Rachel Ray. So we've had some really good media love. We've had some great business awards as a result. One of the first ones we got, which we were very proud of, was a startup here in the Hamilton Chamber. Then we got 3 years ago now, I guess, the Women Entrepreneur of Canada Award, which was very exciting for us. And innovation, that has been our forefront. We within a year of launching our company, there were copycat companies, and that is a challenge in and of itself. I'm sure many of you have experienced. It happens to everyone. And how you let that affect you, at first it just made us break out into hives and get rashes and get red rust mad. But then we realized, we can turn this around, and we have to remember we're the innovators. We've got to keep it, that can keep us motivated. And, it's a fair business model to be the followers, but we didn't want to be that. We want to remain the industry leaders. We were first to market, and we have easily maintained that position. But being innovative is the most important piece to that. And our most recent excitement is we launched a retail product for the first time about 4 months ago, Walmart Canada, and now we're in negotiations with Target and Walmart US. So exciting and scary. I get butterflies just talking about it. Our challenges, while having the 4 business partners was great in the early days and has remained that way, I was a lawyer, my sister was a teacher, a financial planner, and a graphics manager. It was great. You had a lot of great skills to bring to one table to contribute. But you also have a lot of people who are very feisty and have a lot of opinions, and sometimes things can be very exciting on that boardroom table. And most business advisors would say, whoa, Millie, on the 4 business partners. And I can see why. Well, it's worked for us. We went into it together, knowing each other. We knew each other really well. We knew what the ups and downs would probably look like. And we felt that really being able to spread out the work would get us ahead, and it absolutely did. I have solo entrepreneur friends, and they are having to do everything. Filling out the taxes, figuring out the shipping, doing the press release in those early days. Whereas Fraser was like, okay, you figure out the taxes, you figure out the shipping, you do the press releases. And I think that really contributed to our growth. Growth is a great thing, but for us it's also been a huge challenge. Because every time you get comfortable where you're at and you know where you're at, something changes. And I think a perfect example was one day we woke up, we had 8 or 10 employees, looked at each other. Do you know anything about HR? Because I don't. No, not me. No, you don't? No? Okay, we gotta learn about HR. So that is something you just get comfortable, and then boom, you're in the next stage of growth. But that's what's exciting too, and that's what keeps entrepreneurs going, even though it's also the stuff that keeps us up at night. The size as well, the size of our company is funny right now. With 40 full-time employees, we find hiring to be a bit of a trick. And I think the reason is because of where we are at this moment. So like recently we had to hire an HR manager. Well, this HR manager basically has nobody to help her. So she's got to be able to do like a high level hire and also be able to know where she wants her HR files to go. So we do find that, you know, just the range of skills, like say with our controller and say with audit to a certain degree, like you have to be like able to do this high level strategic thinking and sit with the E-team and help us with this guy and help us plan for 5 years out. But you also have to really be able to roll up your sleeves and get dirty in there. So that can be a challenge with a company of our size. The challenge there, it was a great market. People love personalized things, but it's highly personalized. So that means we don't have something sitting on a shelf that we just pull down and send out. We get the order, we have to make it, and we have to get it out that door. And we made a promise to our customers that will happen in 24 hours, and that's very important to them.
I get to talk about the fun stuff at Mabel's Labels. Well, it's all fun. I used to work at a little company called Brim in BlackBerry for a long time. I left there, sorry guys, can you guys hear me? I left there to come work at Mabel's Labels. And there's quite a few reasons why, but mainly because of the challenges that when I went for my interview, I saw at Mabel's Labels from an IT perspective. So Julie was talking about how they used to work in the basement of Cynthia's house. Well, what they were building, which she did show you what they were making. I'll show you. They're making these kinds of labels. So really small, and they're personalized. I don't know if you can see it yet, but they're small, they're personalized, and what they started off doing was making one label for one name, and then cutting and pasting it and arranging it like this. They were having to put guidelines for cuts, so you could peel them off, and also cuts around so you can get the whole sheet mailed out. Because what they're doing is mailing out these things to the customers. Well, you know, to any IT person, you look at that and you say, there's an easy problem to solve, let's make that, let's automate this. So that was one of the first things that was done, was to automate the label making. And that proved enough of a challenge itself, because you think, oh, there's Adobe Illustrator out there, there's all kinds of products. But in the end, none of them would do the work we had to do. None of them made it easy, none of them made it automated. So that's where the whole automation in the IT started. The other part of the business was selling. Obviously, you got to sell your product, and a lot of the sales happen by word of mouth. Well, that's great when you're in a community here. How does that scale out? Well, so what out there is the best word of mouth advertising there is. How can you get people to your storefront to buy your product without having to go anywhere? How can people find out about it? Well, as Julie said, World Wide Web is out there. It's amazing. People don't know where you are, they don't care where you are, but they buy your product. And with all kinds of search engines that were coming out, they could find your product. So websites were built, but again, the website, it's all about, you know, you're selling a product to moms of young children. So what do you think you need to have in your website? Anybody, what would you have on your website if you were selling a product to mothers of young children? Oh, come on, you gotta have ideas.
Pictures of babies.
Well, yeah, pictures of babies is good, but they're coming on your site and they're gonna buy something from you. So, you know, you got children, and young children especially, you put them down for a nap, and I know with my children, I put my daughter down for a nap, 5 minutes later she was up. So, I only had a few minutes to do what I wanted to do. I had to see what I was getting because I'm making a product, it's got to look nice for my children, it's got to look cute, it's got to be, personalized to them. My daughter was really big into bears when she was little, so it had to have bears on it. You know, my son was into hockey, so I want to have a hockey thing around it. But you had to see it. So we built our website so you could see what you were getting, because it was all about seeing it and being able to experience the product. And it had to be fast. So the two things that were really important, we couldn't find out there, could not be found out there in commercial software. So the website had to get built. The other part of that, which I'll get to in a minute, was, sorry, my notes are here, was that you wanted the customer to get what they were seeing. So it had to be what you see, what you get. So as time went on, you know, the website was built and things were going on pretty well. And then we got to a point where, you know, we automated the placement of labels and all that. But, you know, then you have to start printing these things. So there's commercial software out there called raster imaging processing software, or RIP software. And lots of companies build them, but the majority of the print industry out there is for large scale, for banners, for, you know, putting on cars and stuff like that, not for small labels like that. So we would run some of these and they would crash because you get recursive algorithms and you're trying to do nice little cut lines and all that, nice curves on them, because we found that square corners would peel off easily, and part of the whole product is they don't come off. I've had one on my coffee, actually I brought my coffee cup. It's a Tim Hortons steel coffee cup that I put a label on about my second day at Mabel's Labels, which is over 2 years ago. It goes in the dishwasher every day. The print on it has come off, of the Tim Hortons has come off, but my label still looks as good as it did 2 years ago. So that's the kind of stuff that we're building, and the software out there just won't let us do it. So we had to build our own printing RIP software for what we're building as well. So all of these are all kinds of challenges, mathematical challenges, because you're looking at doing curves and everything. That I started looking at math there, and I haven't done that since I was in university, and I don't think most of you were born when I was in university, so that's how long ago it was. So you're learning a lot of stuff. So this is all cool stuff. Then we got back into our website and thought, it's good, but we want to change the look. So we refreshed the look about 2 years ago and built a whole new skin and really want to make it really navigable and easy to find things. Obviously we have, you know, again with SEO, you know, SEO, a big word out there, want to make sure people can find what we're doing and find us easily on the website, so we have all these key links and all that. But even as we go through all that, we still find new things we want to do. As Julie was saying, summertime comes and back to school is the big time. And I started 2 years ago right in the middle of back to school season. And let me tell you, it was crazy. There was, you know, labels coming out here, labels coming out there, orders getting lost because people were, you know, printing them here, taking them where they got cut, and then taking them to the packing station, and things had to get redone because quality has to be really high. Again, we're selling to moms of young children, spending, you know, a fair bit of money, you know, $20 for some labels, for a set of labels like that, and they want them to look good. So our quality standards are really high. So there's a lot, you know, quite a few redos. There was a, you know, I remember my first day I was there, my first week I was in production just to watch what was going on, and I got to help. So we had some labels in front of me, and one of the production workers said, "Okay, this is no good." And I said, "Why?" There's a dot there and a dot there. 2 white dots on this sheet of labels, and they weren't good enough. So quality was really high. So you get all that, and you just, things were getting lost, and like I said, it was getting crazy. So over the last year, so like I said, and I got introduced to that. I thought, okay, this is the way it's always going to be. Wow. Not really, because that's not good, because it's just crazy, and we had to fix that. So we took a project to automate our system. So we introduced some scanners, we introduced a new packing line, so we organized things so there was a packing process. Everything was automated. We built all that software ourselves too. So we're building everything on our site. Our website, we have, like I said, what you see is what you get builders. So you go onto our site and you go through and you decide to buy a product, and it'll pop it up on the screen. You can type your name in, you can pick from an icon, you can change it around, you can add a first name, a second name, and it's all in real time. You see it happening as you're typing it in. Maybe about a tenth of a second delay. So it's real time, and you're seeing what you're getting. That goes from there into our database, and then our production staff takes it and prints it out and builds it, modifies it a little bit. The other thing we saw was happening a lot was, yeah, the customers putting in what they want, but our production staff was still taking a look at it and saying, you know what, it's just be nice, just a little bit bigger. And I sat there and watched them one day, and about 90% of the labels were actually getting touched. And all they were doing was making them a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, moving things around. I thought, well, gosh, there's got to be a better way to do that. So with a couple of other guys from the team, we looked at what was going on. We thought we can automate that so that all the time we know the size of a name, it's 10 letters, it'll fit in a space this big, and we'll adjust everything. So we automatically scaled all the labels, and we got to a point where I think earlier this year, we're about 95% of the labels didn't have to get touched. They were all fitting the way we expected them to. You know, we added some new designs, some new fonts, and we fit them all in. So it's all about how we make things move smoother. We improved our RIP software this year so we could handle new printers fast and make things go faster. Added calibration so we can get the print quality across all of our printers the same. We have 4 or 5 printers that we use, and if you've ever done any printing, you can set them up And you think they're going to print the same when you get colors, and exactly the same thing going in both when they come out different colors. So we had to get that all to work properly, because if we print something with the owl on it and purple on this printer and one on that printer, they got to match. Again, because the customer expects it that way. If they don't match, we've got a money-back guarantee. We will send you replacements all the time. So, I look at that from an engineering point of view and say, I don't want that happening because it's costs. We got to reduce that. So, we did a lot this last year, so that our summer went pretty smoothly. And I think we, at one point I looked at the numbers, we actually had about, I'd say we got about 300% increase in production between what we've done in terms of being able to produce more labels faster, have less mistakes, and some improvements to the equipment. That's pretty good, and that's why things went smoothly this year. Also, our customer service team, at one point in the summer, last year, they were on the phone all the time. This year, they were kind of bored, and they thought things weren't going well. And I said, you know what, it's probably because, we listened to what you guys had said, and what our customer service team had said, were the problems, and we fixed them. So really it all came down to when we build all our software, we listen to what our customers say. So our customers who buy our product, that's why we build what you see is what you get, and make the website quick and very fast. And also what our internal people see, what our production staff wants, what our sales and marketing staff is looking for, and what our customer service people are seeing as problems. We take that, we listen to what they're saying, we understand that sometimes it's a small thing. Like we saw when we're sitting watching production staff, we saw them moving their mouse all over the place and just clicking here, clicking here, clicking here. And one of my guys said, hey, wouldn't it be really good if I just gave you a button to push? And you wouldn't have to make 2 or 3 mouse clicks for 10,000 labels. And it's amazing how much that saved our staffs from getting carpal tunnels. But, so yeah, it's just really about that. I think, if I'm going to give you one message for anybody who's doing software, you got to listen to what people want and not make it what you think they want, but what they really want. Sometimes what they're really looking for is something small. Like I said, taking 3 mouse clicks away was a huge win. That allowed us to do a lot of the other automation because we gave them something they wanted. The automation, maybe they didn't need something, they didn't think they needed so much, but because we gave them a couple of things, we could do the rest of it as well. So that's really important. So one of the things that we still have, we're not done. We've got a good team. We're about a quarter of the company is our IT team. And that's mostly software developers. A couple of us do infrastructure as well. But we look at our system and we know that we can automate a lot more in our production system. We can, we're starting to look at all, we've had 7, 9 years of data that we collected. We're looking at that and looking at big data and finding out good trends and information. So we're doing a lot of data analysis. So there's another thing that we're just really getting into because we have the time to do that now. We're looking at our website again and saying how can we make that more efficient. One of our guys, actually, Alex, he's out here somewhere. He was reading something the other day, and he said that people are finding that the time people spend on your website, if things are very responsive under a sub time, 3 seconds, I think he's saying, then people are more likely to stay on your site and convert. If it's too long, then they're not going to because they're going to bail on it. So we're looking at our site, looking at all the way different points in our website to say, how do we make it better? How do we make it faster? How do we make it more responsive? How do we give customers what they want so that they want to buy? Because ultimately, we want to sell these, we want people to buy, that's how we have fun. And, as Julie said, it's finding good people that are enthusiastic and want to learn new things because we've all got a million ideas and there's things we want to do. And that often is hard to get them. And, so that's one of our bigger challenges. So we've got a lot that we want to do still, and like I said, I touched on a few things, and I can't touch on everything because, well, competitors out there. Yeah, we'd be here all night too, but I don't want to give everything away too because, like I said, one of the guys here is Alex, and I want to give him a few surprises down the way. So, anyway, so any questions or anything, or yeah.
Talk a bit about the technology that you use for your moving together.
What we do is, we built everything in C# actually, or everything on our backend in C#, and so what we've got is, and then we use PHP on the website. So we built a preview, and it actually runs in the background. So we got a preview server out in the cloud somewhere. So when you're typing on the website, we send that to our preview server, and we've got a couple of different methods we use there. If you're typing really quickly, we won't send it all right away, and then if there's like a quarter-second delay, then we'll pass it down to our server. It then takes that information, builds the label the same way we would in production, and then sends that image back out to the web server, which then displays it in the window there.